Eagles 49ers, this was everything we thought it would be. And I'm upset that I really didn't see it coming. I talked about coming into the playoffs. Like, this was the perfect matchup for the Eagles against the 49ers because it's not a good defense. And so, yes, this Eagles team is vulnerable, but no, I didn't think San Francisco could take advantage of it. And I underrated the vulnerability of the Eagles offense. They were bad. And talking about the Steelers game with no adjustments, like how do you lose that game? I don't understand how, with the offensive talent you have and the defensive talent they don't, how you possibly lose that one. I think Hurts wasn't very good. Everyone, there were mistakes across the board, aside from Barkley. There were mistakes across the board. Hurts missed some throws. Brown, the drops, awful. Smith, kind of ditto, right? Like, there was a lot there. But the one thing that you really, really noticed from this game, or really jumped out to me, that 4th and 11, season on the line. They spent that whole drive managing the clock, managing the football in a way that made it seem like they only needed a field goal when they needed a touchdown, right? Like, they were a team, they looked like, oh, okay, well, we're within 50, so we'll just play around and maybe we'll see and maybe we'll get a little bit closer. Like, that's what they look like. And then it's 4th and 11 with your season on the line. And that's what you come up with, a timeout because a safety came in. And then that's the offense that you put out there. There was no gadgets, there was no tricks, there was no nothing. It was as bland and vanilla as possible. And the one benefit of the doubt I gave them all year was, I mean, I guess twofold. One, they won the Super Bowl a season ago. But two, maybe they're trying to keep this guy happy. They're trying to do that happy. They're not trying to show too much. Just get into the tournament and see what happens. Well, they got into the tournament, and what we saw was everyone was able to elevate their game except for them. And when you watch, again, like, watch early in the week. I know it didn't go well for them, for the Packers, but LaFleur was able to get his guys open. Ben Johnson did a hell of a job of getting his guys open offensively. Watch old Kansas City Chiefs games. Don't know if always the execution's going to be there, but you know for damn sure that Andy Reid is going to have at least one cat open out there for Patrick Mahomes to try to get the ball to. And watching this Eagles game against the 49ers, 4th and 11, season on the line, I was so confident that no one was going to be open and that wasn't going to work out. The only thing that the Eagles could have got was a pass interference help on it. It was just, they were bad. And you're right, Drew. Offense, awful. It was awful. There was no creativity. There was no flow to any of it. They would have success running the ball. And like you said, Saquon needed more touches. When Saquon got the ball, they started moving pretty well. But the problem was that they would just like, okay, well, this is working. So, yeah, let's just, no, Jalen Hurts. Hurts can win this now and go with it that way. There was nothing, it was, something would work. And then they'd be like, okay, good, check that box. Let's move on and get something else working. And then they'd never go back to it. And there were times where Saquon could at least move the ball for this team and get them in some decent spots. But they would just, no, we have to keep throwing it. We have to go with Hurts. This entire season felt like they were trying to prove everyone wrong when they were saying Hurts isn't that difference maker. They won the Super Bowl in spite of him. He's not an elite quarterback. They spent the whole season trying to prove that he was, and all they did was kind of prove that he wasn't, and prove that this offense wasn't. It was a lot of Saquon and a lot of the work on the offensive line. You're right. There was no scheme in the game plan. It was just, yeah, we'll figure it out. They have third stringers out there. Whatever. We'll be fine. It was bad. It was really bad. And like for AJ Brown, you're absolutely right, Drew. There is no excuse for all the pouting, all the tweets, all the reading of books on the sideline, all the getting in your coach's face, all the this, that, and the other thing, and then dropping the ball in the biggest moment of your season. You can't do that. You can do we all got on T.O. and Chad Johnson and all of those guys, and even the Steelers here. Again, don't think I'd want to host a show with them, but AJ Brown, weird dude, very dramatic, all of those things that we talked about. But when it came down to catching the football, those sons of guns caught footballs. And it was, okay, yeah, I need the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Why was it that? Because they were better than everyone. And A.J. Brown is supposed to be that guy, and that was his moment, and he messed it up. Awful. Just awful. You can't have that. Just a horrendous season out in Philadelphia. And if they hadn't won last year, all of the talk, like Sirianni would be so fired after this season. And all of the talk would be, you can't win with Jalen Hurts. That's what this season looked like, is that he, like, I reference this a lot. Daniel Jeremiah on the Move the Six podcast with Bucky Brooks, they talk about trucks or trailers. Jalen Hurts is a really good trailer. He ain't a truck. He's not carrying this offense. And there was no need to go away with what was working. Drew's point, Saquon was gashing them. But yeah, no, throw it around the field. Like, it was like they knew, okay, Saquon can run on him. Great, we got that. And then they didn't go back to it. And again, you don't have to run it 1,000 times in the line back to back, but just every now and then to put yourself in a bit of a better spot, you got to be able to run it. Same thing happened. First of all, credit to the 49ers. This has been all Eagles, whatever. Purdy, honestly, Purdy wasn't even that great, but made the plays when he needed to. CMC should be the MVP in the NFL this season. Won't be, but should be.